Welcome to the show. I am your host, Florence Mafomeme. Who says it's ever too late to follow your dream? You are about to meet somebody who decided to go back to college at the age of 44 years. He just graduated from Brooklyn College with a bachelor's degree in television and radio and is heading to law school. He was the valedictorian of his class of 2017. But what motivated him to go to law school? He is here to tell us and all about his journey. Here is Kevin LaMonte Jones.
My name is Kevin LaMonte Jones. I'm a new graduate of Brooklyn College, was the valedictorian, and I am a rising 1L for law school in the upcoming fall. I haven't made a decision on exactly what school I'll be attending, but one thing's for sure, that I will be attending law school in the upcoming fall.
I want to congratulate you for earning your bachelor's degree at Brooklyn College.
Thank you, thank you.
So, what was it like being the valedictorian and making that speech on that stage?
What was it like?
Yeah, how did you feel?
Well, I don't know that I can necessarily describe the feeling in the moment. In retrospect, it was absolutely amazing to have achieved that level of success, to be recognized, to have my grandmother, my family, my mom, aunts, cousins, nephew, professors, and the judge whom I've interned for the last 2 years, and a host of friends who have traveled a great deal, to have traveled all the way to New York to be here with me during that moment of celebration was absolutely incredible. I mean, words cannot necessarily adequately articulate the depths of my feelings. It was empowering.
And after graduation, you talked about your CUNY journey on CUNY TV.
Yeah, well, it was actually prior to graduation, yes.
Oh, it was prior to graduation.
Yes.
And at some point, tears were running down your cheeks. What was going through your mind then?
Well, the interview I believe you're referring to with CUNY TV, it was, the questions were asked, you know. I was reflecting on the moment I decided to return to school, and the passion that I have for the work that I'm embarking upon, to advocate for a voiceless, and to go into law. And so it was just remembering the moment that created that necessity to return to school.
And you returned to school at 44 years old.
Yes.
Yeah. And apart from wanting to become a lawyer, what were the other things that motivated you to go back to school?
Well, that was it. I mean,
wow.
To be a lawyer was the primary. It was only because of my need and my desire to impact the nation, to impact our communities. I've thought about returning to school many years. I've been marginally successful without having a degree, but that was the motivating factor. What allowed me to continue the journey was the support and the encouragement of friends and family in need, and understanding that it was not for any level of wanting to prove anything to anyone else besides to get in the game. And I guess once you transform your thought process. So to return to school, and yes, we're told you need an education, blah, 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 blah. But it wasn't under that premise that I returned to school. It was under the premise I've often told folk that I've always had the gravitas to get a job done. I lack the credentials. And in effect, that's what returning to school was, to obtain the credentials in order to validate my journey in doing what I'm doing.
Wow. And did you have any challenges coming back to school?
Of course, there are many challenges. Just getting over the challenge of I'm too old, getting over the challenge economically, the sacrifice necessary in order to commit yourself to the studies and curricula. So there are many challenges, personal, environmental, mental. So it's just a host of different challenges that at any given moment I was confronted with any one of them, or the convergence or the intersectionality of all these different converging challenges, if you will.
You came to Brooklyn College in the fall of 2014.
I did.
And in 2017,
yes,
you graduated. So
correct.
how did you do it?
Well, I previously attended school prior to, so I came in with 30 credits.
Okay.
So thereby me having to only complete an additional 3 years. So I had completed just a little more than my first year over a 2.5 year period of credits that transferred. Commitment, efficacy, and remembering what my purpose and why I returned to school in the first place. And I kept that to the forefront. What I was there for, and it wasn't about me, but it was about the people whom I would impact, and that's what motivated me, the need.
Wow. And you go into law school, but you majored in broadcast, television and radio.
Correct, with a minor in Africana study.
Yeah, why did you choose TV and radio?
First of all, TV and radio, to have that medium in order to impact the people. So it's not that big of a leap if you really think about the connection. It's through television, it's through radio, it's through those levels of mediums that our society is shaped today, especially more so now than it was 20 years ago. Everything that we do, everything that we see, and everything that we, how our opinions and our value system and our principles are shaped and articulated. Oftentimes you see it reflected in media in different forms, be it online social media, be it via text, creating our own content, and to be able to articulate a message to a global community is one of the largest reach. I mean, individuals are capable of doing what it took an entire population to do 50 years ago.
And watching you make that speech on that stage, you were so passionate.
Thank you.
What was it that made you so passionate?
I believe it was my ancestral energy that stood beside me. I was standing on the backs and the shoulders of all those who had gone before me, from the shores of Africa to the graves of America, to all the great intellects who have labored and to create such an opportunity for me. So, again, even as you recall in my speech, I talk about that. I'm the product of a village experience, and what I mean by that I alone did not do anything. It was through the collective efforts of so many people, nameless people that from the mentally or developmentally challenged individuals that work within the Brooklyn College confines who enriched my life so greatly, to the Learning Center, to the Magna Center, to the CAS office, to the various professors, not to mention my family, my friends, and to the individuals who are incarcerated, the young child who never had an opportunity, to the ones whose life have been snuffed out senselessly. So it was all of that culminated within my spirit at that very moment. So I'd love to take the credit, but it was not I, but it was the collective powers, that something spiritual and innate about that connection.
Yeah, because
melody.
at some point you were emotional and you had to try to keep it together.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So that's what made me anxious to ask you that question. And in your speech, you talked about, your speech was about empowerment and transformation.
Without question.
Do you think you used that platform to get across that message successfully? Did you think?
I believe I did, and I'm told that. But that is my message. That's I'm that living message. My life is about empowerment and transformation, and that's what I was talking about when I prefaced with the quote from Frederick Douglass. And oftentimes, it's all about the way we view things and the way we see things. So once you become empowered and understand, and you take your power away from others to define you, and you become the author of your own definition, and you begin to state who you are, and you can transform, and of course with the assistance of others, and we'll see that come forth full throttle, if you will. But yes, without question, I believe that was my message. I believe that it was received well, and I know for certain that is my life.
And you just talked about you being the product of a village experience. And you've talked about you alone, not you alone doing it.
Correct.
How did you feel having your grandmother, your 90-year-old grandmother, being there for you? How did you feel?
How did I feel? Well, I feel blessed that she's still here and with all her faculties.
And supporting you so much.
Well, I guess sometimes I think you take things for granted, because my grandmother has always supported me throughout my entire life. So it was just an expectancy. I couldn't see her not being there as long as she breathed and had the capacity. So my grandfather's deceased now, but my grandparents raised me as their own child. And so those are my best friends in life. So I couldn't see anyone being there. I couldn't imagine a world where she wasn't there.
You mentioned that you had a lot of support.
Without question.
Moral support. And many other people helped you. What are the other ways that people helped you, apart from the moral support you had? You did mention that one of your friends gave you a laptop and so on when you were talking to CUNY TV.
Yeah,
that was really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, well, I have great friends, and to have a friend, one must show themselves to be a friend, and I'm blessed to have some, and I don't have a lot of friends. I know a lot of people, but I have very few friends. But the friends I do have, they're pretty solid. So yes, I had friends and family, and I guess I must also articulate that my family, not only are they my family members, but they're my friends as well. Those are my best friends. So I would receive the laptop, like I said, from my friends. Another one bought me a backpack. But beyond that, I mean, just the support on many different levels, more tangible or not, just the support and assisting me and different financial needs throughout my career, because I didn't work. I was a full-time student. And it didn't even ask for it, but just because they saw what I was doing and supporting. When I was committed over the summers, I didn't work during the summer. I did a law school honors program, a prep program. Summer of 2015 and summer 2016, 2015. Both summers I was participating in the Ron Brown prep program, legal prep program. So I was not able to work then, and many of them got together and provided funds for me to continue with my efforts to maintain gas money, eat here. I mean, just so many different things. But moral support, I don't think you can minimize just having the ability to speak your feelings, having the opportunity to negotiate your emotions with someone and not allow your emotions to take you out of the game. So I think the moral support, aside from, and not to minimize either part, but I don't think you can one is greater than the other. So the ones who are able to give me the moral support, to be that listening ear, to be there to assist me just in my assignments, to give me clarity and understanding, as well as the ones who are able to give me financial blessings or tangible physical gifts in one form or another. You know, so I mean, I can, if I start trying to name them, I would do myself and you a disservice because there were so many that I can't possibly even begin to name you over a 3-year span.
And you also received, I get to know you received awards while you were at Brooklyn College. Could you tell me a little bit more about the awards?
So you should have told me I would have brought my resume because I don't remember them all. But no, but I'm a Bell Zeller Scholar. I was one of 5 in all of the CUNY systems to receive the Bell Zeller Scholarship. I received, the Brooklyn College Alumni Association Award, which came along with a nice, healthy stipend. I received many awards within the department, merit scholarships, 2 years straight. Kathy Jordan Sharpton, who's the wife of Al Sharpton, she, one of the most giving, beautiful people, friend of mine, that I just to talk about Kathy Jordan Sharpton alone would take an eternity. Wow. So, and that's how I feel about many of my friends. But she along with her committee, for her birthday every year, they provide scholarships to students pursuing education in excellence and go through the same application process as any other. And I was awarded 2 years straight the Kathy Jordan Sharpton Scholarship. So I've gotten so many scholarships that I don't want to even try to name them, but I could forward you a copy of my resume.
And what do you tell people who may be thinking, I can't do it, or it's too late for me to go back to school? What do you tell such people?
Well, that's, you can do all things, once you commit it. And it's one thing for me to know what you can do, and it's more important for you to know what you can do. I do believe that there has to be a palatable subject or a person to provide that information for. So for those individuals who have embarked upon this journey, that regardless of how I feel, feelings aren't fact, but the fact is that we do have feelings. I acknowledge my feelings, and that's why it's important that they get some folk in their lives who they can be the sounding board and never give too much room to that itty-bitty committee. There's another word that goes in there, but I'm just saying that itty-bitty committee up here in my head that tells me all kind of things that's not necessarily so. I think it is extremely important that you have some safety measures in people that you trust to be in your area, in your life, in your corner, whom you can trust, confidants, to be able to express the truth of your feelings. Not that they're necessarily true, but many people are afraid to speak what's the truth in order to get help, because it's like going to the doctor. If you don't tell them what's wrong, they won't know how to help you. So I find it to be most important to talk about people. People say that, I'll just ask them, well, why do they feel that way? What is preventing them? So I just want to encourage everybody that you can do whatever. That's not true.
And whenever.
Without question, it's never too late. Yeah. My cousin Robin, the Honorable Robin Burgess in Houston, who's also my cousin, who's a judge, and we're only we're very close in age. She told me, and she was on my journey even when I was in a decision-making process of returning to school, and she told me it's never too late. And I believe she said they used to say this on some news station at the end. It's like it's never too late to become what you would have been. And I've held that.
Wow. And you've gotten a bachelor's degree. Check.
Yes.
Now, so when do you start law school?
In the fall.
In the fall. And what area of law You did mention the area of law.
Yeah, I do plan to go into criminal law.
Criminal law.
Now, what aspect of criminal law, I'm not quite certain, but as it stands now, criminal, be it prosecution or defense, but I do certainly want to be in a position to assist, and there's ways to do that on either side of the fence.
Okay.
But I just, so right now it's just criminal law.
And what have you been doing to prepare you for law school?
No, as I mentioned, the law prep program, and
And being here, having an office here, working for the judge, this is part of prepping you?
no, it could be, and this is
Indirectly.
yeah, well, yeah. So, I've enjoyed interning with Justice Hall and Joe Sorrentino, who's an amazing attorney, which was the principal law clerk for Judge Hall, and he just recently took on a new position, but he was extremely instrumental in my still being here. I was here as a part of the law prep program with Ron Brown initially, which was only for 2 weeks. Through efficacy, I'm here, and I expressed my interest, and I've been here over 2 years now. So
That's interesting. And Kevin, it was my pleasure speaking with you.
no, the pleasure was all mine.
And
Thank
I
you.
really thank you for squeezing, I always use this word, squeezing this
Thank
time
you.
out of your hectic schedule.
Thank
I know
you.
how
Thank
busy you are, and I wish you the best
Thank
in law
you.
school.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
All of
Kevin.
the pleasures.
So if you are out there wondering whether you still have a shot at your dream, Kevin is letting you know that, yes, you can. You just need to know what you want, your goal, and go for it with your soul, and you will see your dream come true. That is the show for today. I hope Kevin's story inspired you. Remember to subscribe for upcoming episodes. I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.